What if you got a ticket for something that you think is kind of silly, like parking diagonally because a snowbank kind of forced you to? Or maybe you were too far from the curb because of snow accumulation. Do you have any recourse against these tickets? Joining us now is Bernard Lévy-Soussan, partner at Ticket 911. Hey, Bernard, how are you?
Good afternoon.
Now, how do you actually contest a parking ticket? Because in theory, it sounds, all well and good, but what does that process actually look like?
Well, the process is pretty simple. First of all, when you receive a ticket, you have 30 days to file a non-guilty plea by returning the attached document of the ticket to the city and then simply wait for a court date. The court date could take anywhere between, if we're talking now about Montreal, it could take close to a year.
Wow.
Depending on the city, it's anywhere between 6 months to a year to get a court date. And then you show up in court and you make your point. You argue to a judge that the ticket was given to you unjustly and that you shouldn't pay the ticket.
What about one of these parking tickets that people are getting for apparently parking diagonally? I think every winter, whenever there's a snowstorm, doesn't matter if it's this big or not, people start to park diagonally. It's kind of part of the way it works here. If you receive a ticket, what recourse do you have?
You're absolutely right. There's a saying, no one is bound to do the impossible. These are exceptional situations. Even the mayoress of Montreal, Valérie Plante, mentioned a few days ago that the city would act with clemency in these situations. And clearly the message hasn't gone down to her employees. You can't expect somebody to park straight when both sides of the streets are completely overwhelmed with snow. And, if you take Montreal, for example, I overheard that half of the city was cleared. And look at Quebec City, 98% this morning was cleared.
Wow.
So obviously Montreal hasn't done what it's supposed to do. Don't expect the citizens to park properly.
Interesting point. What are your chances of actually getting a fine overturned? Because I've received parking tickets before where I wanted to fight it, but I was like, yeah, is it really worth the effort? Is this actually going to get overturned, or am I just drawing out the process? Do you actually have a good chance of winning?
You have, and fortunately, you're absolutely right. People have this reaction to say, I'm going to lose half a day of work.
Yeah.
I'm going to lose a couple of hours. I'm going to have to go to court, park my car, maybe get another parking ticket. So usually people contest tickets with points, and that's when they call us. But for parking tickets, they have this reflection. Is it really worth it to spend half of my day for a $65 parking ticket? I would encourage people to do so. Because when you're unjustly ticketed, you have to make your rights worth something.
What rights do people have when they perhaps, are caught when the orange signs are up? I know that obviously if you leave your car there, it slows down the operation. You get towed. That's an extra fee. But, sometimes the signs go up quick. You don't see them. Maybe you were out for 12 hours or something and you miss it. Or do you have any recourse there? Or is it one of those situations where
it's an excellent question. The city has obligations. And depending on the day or evening shift, they have certain number of hours. I believe it's 12 hours that they have, between 4 to 12 hours that they have to put up a sign. In other words, if I come home from work at 8 p.m., there's no sign, and I'm going to leave the next morning at 6. I can't expect them to put a sign at midnight and me wake up in the middle of the night to move my car. So they have this obligation, and I would encourage people, because every city has their own bylaws with respect to signage being installed. So you have to look at your borough basically and see if they respect. I'm going to tell you, because I have done over my career, I've done 16 years as a prosecutor, and I can tell you that most of the time these signs are not properly installed. They're installed very late because they have to tangle a lot of things, and they don't have the 10 or 8 or 12 hours delayed respected. So this is a reason to contest a ticket, obviously.
Speaking with Bernard Lévy-Soussan, he's a partner at Ticket 911, just about what you can do if you get a ticket that you think is unfair. I do want to ask also, though, about some of the obligations that people have when they are parking, because, as much as it's kind of normal to see those diagonal cars, sometimes it is a little bit much, and people are sort of hanging out into the road. Is there a rule where, okay, this much diagonal is okay, but if we're too far in, how much room do you have to leave? How far from the sidewalk can you park? And if there's a huge snowbank that really takes up the entire parking lane, is it, maybe we don't park there this time? And where is the line there? What obligations do we have as drivers?
The line is very thin. I think it's a question of judgment. If you feel that you're, encroaching half of the drive lane, I would maybe encourage the person not to park, because then no cars can pass.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. We have about a minute left right now, Bernard. I have a question, because I saw a video on TikTok. There was a woman on the plateau. Her car was completely buried in the snow, and she was just like super découragée. She did not want to dig it out. And in the video, she says, you know what? I'll just pay for the towing. Tow it when you come to clear the street. I'll pay for it. It's a lot easier. But I was thinking to myself, she can't contest that ticket because she has documented on the internet that it is premeditated. So I guess if you're going to contest a ticket, be careful what you post on social media, right?
Absolutely right. You're 100% right. Be careful.
Absolutely. Bernard Lévy-Soussan, partner at Ticket 911. Thank you so much for your time. Really appreciate it.
My pleasure. Have a good evening.
And to you as well.
I do just want to say also, if you are parking out into the street, getting a ticket isn't the only reason why you should leave enough space, because a few cars on my block today got swiped by the plows that were coming down, and it caused a huge traffic jam, and it's a bunch of damage. And I don't think that person is going to have much recourse, because they were parked out in the roadway, and the big machines do need to get around. So I think it's one thing to, protect yourself from getting a ticket, but also protect your vehicle from the possibility that a big truck that the guy's been working for 12 hours, and has to navigate these super tight roads, give them some space.